We'll show you how to assemble your Pikler triangle, and we're going to show you the simple steps needed to complete the assembly. The box you see right there is the box that you will get everything in, and what you will get is a ramp that's fully assembled that you'll pull directly out of there, and then you will get a side rail here with a pivot plate on it, as well as the opposite side. And then you'll get two of the other rail sections, along with 11 of the plastic pipes that are needed. The tools that will be necessary will be a mallet or a hammer with a block of wood so you don't mar up the side of the rail, a cordless screwdriver, a tape measure, and a 7/16 wrench, as well as the packet of screws and bolts that we will send with it. At this point, my assistant will go ahead and show you the insertion of the pivot or the plastic tubes into the side rail. You do this one at a time initially. The idea is to seat the plastic tube completely into the side rail holes. It's important that it gets seated completely down. That's one side completed. Now what he's doing is aligning the holes from underneath to see, and you kind of walk this through from one side to the other. Try to start them. They do have a bevel on them to help you start them. Now, what we're going to do at this point is show you the vital dimension that's important to make sure that the unit is assembled properly. If you go across from one side to the other, the dimension is 31 1/4, and if it's not 31 1/4 like we're seeing here, then he's going to pound it down a little more to get that dimension and to fully seat the pipe into the side rail.
31 1/4. Center, it's got to come down a little bit over this way. Should be it right there. Yep.
Okay, when you got 31 1/4, regardless of where you measure it, now you're looking pretty good. At this point, you're going to lay it flat as best you can. And be sure that the unit is level and flat. It may mean you have to push a little bit on one side or the other. You want it to lay flat.
Should be it right there. Yep. Okay, when you got 31 1/4, regardless of where you measure it, now you're looking pretty good. At this point, you're going to lay it flat as best you can. And be sure that the unit is level and flat. It may mean you have to push a little bit on one side or the other. You want it to lay flat.
And you can actually,
So you can hear.
as long as there's no screws in these at this point, you can maneuver them to wherever you want it to be nice and flat, and that's important as well.
See, there it is right there.
Okay, now what he's going to show you is the next step, which is to drive the screws into the pipe and lock it in place so it can't move. If you look on each one of these rails, there's a small hole, and each hole is just a guide for the screw. He's going to show you how easy this is now. The holes are pre-drilled, so you have no measuring to do. As long as you inserted the pipe to the proper dimension, the screws are going to go right where they're supposed to.
Double check that. Over there.
That takes care of one side rail completed with the pivot plates on it, and we're going to set that aside for a minute. And of course you can see that part here as part of the assembly. What we'll do now is we'll get the other rails here, and we'll basically repeat the process one more time. Taking the final six, or the final five, I mean, and we're going to put those in the same way we did the last one. Okay, we're going to seat these all the way down in each pocket until you know that you're there. And then what we'll do is arrange for the other one. Make sure as you assemble them because we could make a mistake here and put it on in reverse, but make sure you have one side here that's the lower end that they match. Both holes on that side match, because in this end there's a different hole, a pivot, and the end of the leg is much shorter. Now that we got that right where we need it to be, I'm going to try to get this aligned as well, very easily. Okay, now he's going to just check to see that it's level and flat. If one side, as you can see, it has a little bounce to it, so he's putting a little pressure on the side that needs it, and he can move it very easily. Okay, at this point, he's going to measure to make sure he's at 31 1/4.
31 1/4. All the way through, give or take a 16.
Okay, and this side has the pre-drilled holes already, both on both side rails. And what he's going to do now is basically assemble it the same way we did the last one. What this does is it the screw goes right down through the plastic tube, and it holds it completely in place so it can't, it's locked in. Okay, now that that's done, he's going to show you the final assembly. Putting both legs together so that the unit looks like this. On the smaller legs, there's a pre-drilled hole for you at each end. And we're looking at that right now. And you'll see that that will fit into a hole on the inside of the plate.
This screwdriver will come in handy.
Okay, he puts the screwdriver in to help align it. And as you can see, the screwdriver went completely in, and he helped keep it aligned. So what he's doing, he's making sure that it's that it is aligned, and he's taking the provided bolt, carriage bolt, pushing it in.
Grab that mallet. One washer, one nut.
And this is where your 7/16 wrench comes in, and you can tighten it such that the edge of the bolt is right at the end of the nut.
Always make sure you keep your screws facing inward as well.
Yeah, always make sure that the screw is on the inboard side, meaning the head is on the plate.
Bring the bolt in flush with the lock screw, lock nut I mean.
Okay. He's going to do the same to the other side. Okay. He's going to open it up. And it is complete. Solid, ready to go. You're all done. I have exactly 14 minutes showing on the video. And then, of course, the ramp is already completed. Thank you for watching.